Hello my beautiful friends, and if you're new, my name is Juanita. I'm all about gardening and DIY projects and just getting out and getting active, and I hope to encourage you to do the same. Now today's video is going to be all about trimming, so I'm going to turn the camera around and walk you through my whole entire yard and show you what I need to do. But if you're new to gardening, this is something that I would highly recommend for any gardener, but especially for new gardeners. If you do winter and fall maintenance, it'll save you a ton of time. And you know what, why not do it when it's starting to get gloomy out or raining? In our case, it's a lot of rain, and it is going to rain today, so I gotta get busy. But I thank my lucky stars that I have finally came to the realization that doing winter or fall maintenance and taking care of all the pruning that I need to take care of done before spring rolls around. Now I will take you around also as I'm showing you the plants to show you which ones you can, because there are plants that have good winter interest. So let me do that. I hope you guys enjoy this. I really feel blessed for each and every one of you, especially those that have been following me for a long time, to be here today. And just as a reminder, especially for those of you that are new to my channel, I am selling my home, so this is going to be my last pruning in this yard. It's kind of bittersweet, and I'm going to miss a lot of this plants, but it's always good to start a new chapter. So with that, let's get started. Okay, so one plant that you can actually leave unpruned over the winter and fall maintenance, and when I'm saying winter, I'm saying as long as you can trim before the first frost, then you can do any trimming. Oak leaf hydrangeas do not need very much trimming, and I will link that video up here for you to go catch on how I show when and how to trim oak leaf hydrangeas. But just to reiterate real quick, basically the only thing you have to do is cut any dead, diseased, or damaged foliage or branch. And come summer, all you do is trim this off. That's it. Did I say summer? I meant spring. Yeah, so like this is dead, I would cut it down to about right here, to this 2 nodes. Same thing here. Cut it all the way down to the first node where it has a growth. This is a Magdalena Tomasini fuchsia, gorgeous one. I'm gonna mess all my plants, so I'm not gonna go over that again. But this one here, again, I'm gonna reiterate, this grows out of blooms out of old growth and new growth, but depends on whether the winter or the frost affects it or not is what's going to determine whether the old growth is even salvageable. In my case, it killed the old growth. So there's new growth, as you can see, emerging from the ground. This grows as a clump, doesn't spread out, and so I will be trimming all the old growth, and then the flowers will bloom from the new growth. Nothing else over here that needs to be trimmed. I'm taking this with me, all of the containers. I do need to clean up my abutilon. As you can see, it really got affected by the winter. It really pretty much killed it, but there's new growth, so there's life, so I'm going to just cut it down all the way down. I already kind of started it, but then I decided, I better leave it to show you. My St. John's wort really got affected, really bad. So I'm going to take off all the dead branches out of there, and there is new growth down here, so that'll emerge anyway. So this is one of the plants that I absolutely love. Unfortunately, didn't quite make it, which is really sad. This is a broomstruck hydrangea. Broomstruck hydrangeas are kind of like oak leaf hydrangeas. What I would recommend is just cut off any dead branches or diseased branches and top off the flowers, and you're good to go. My hot lip salvia, as you can see, actually got killed over the winter months. It's got some life right over here, if you see, and then there's some life here. So I'm just gonna cut it all the way down, and hopefully that'll rebloom. Nothing else over here needs to be trimmed. Some of my lilies over here, I don't know if they made it or not. Looks like they're trying, but I'm just going to kind of clean up. I had a lavender here. Looks like it bit the dust. I had 2 of them here. Looks like both of them. Yeah, that both of them died. Kind of crazy to see what survived and what didn't. But everything else, oh, my rock rose also got really affected over the winter months. And so I'm just gonna clean off what's dead. And then this was my newest pinnacle hydrangea. I will be taking that. I'm just gonna trim off anything that's damaged or dead. And then I'm gonna take you in here because the saddest part is that my Butylon over here died. I had this here for several years. Sorry, it's kind of dark in here. But I was really sad to see this go. So I'll either completely pull it out or just trim it all the way down. But yeah, my peony, look at my peony. It's getting big, and look at this bloom. Look at that bud. Wow. Okay, this is the first time of me ever owning a peony tree. And first time I'll ever see this bloom, as well as my chives. My chives are starting to bloom. And this survived poorly, but it's surviving. And of course, my pinnacle hydrangea that I started from New Starts actually is doing fantastic. I was worried about this, and yeah. Last, what I want to show you over here, nothing here in the garden to do, but I just wanted to show you that I planted some garlic last fall. That's all coming back. The mumps that I had in this container is coming back. And then the chives over here all survived, and they're going to be blooming. In this last container, which will be staying, this one here had a lot of different types of, excuse this shouldn't be in there. Had a lot of spring bulbs. They all started coming up in the fall. For some reason, they didn't make it through. Well, it was too cold, right? They didn't make it. But I do see some new flowers that are emerging. I have some Lithodoria over here. Just needs to be cleaned up. And then on this container, same thing. Just needs to be cleaned up. Okay, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and dive right into this. I will show you what it looks like at the end. I'm filling drops. Let me get busy. These leaves here that I'm cutting off are just last year's leaves. They're pretty much just dried and dead, so I'm gonna go ahead and take those off, pinch them off, because new leaves are forming anyway. Okay, so take care of them. Now I left these branches because if you notice right here and periodically on here, you see some nodes here. Those have new branches coming out. So when you're trimming your Butylon, keep an eye for what could possibly come out. This is still alive. For that reason, I'm going to keep those branches and see what happens. But pretty much the new branches are coming out from right down here. Now this branch here, I'm keeping because even though it looked like it was started a new foliage coming out of here and didn't make it, it's possible that another leaf will come out or branch will come out of this one. So, I mean, you can pick and choose which ones you do, but I mean, obviously, if they're dead, they're dead. Again, this is my hot lip salvia. It's pretty much dead, so I'm just gonna cut it as far down as possible.
We've been on and off again and again. I don't know which way we're going, no control. You push me, then you pull me back in. Don't know if I can decipher how your mind works. Yeah, you leave me wondering what it's like.
Okay, so I really cut this hot lip salvia, but again, hot lip salvias are pretty resilient. Even though I did cut off a lot of dead branches off of it, as you can see, there's still new foliage coming up throughout this whole thing. This is pretty much dead. However, it's the main stem to this little piece right here. I could have trimmed this down just a little bit more. We'll just do that by hand. But you see some new foliage emerging there. And then right here, I could cut that off a little bit more. This one here has new foliage coming out. Here, there's also some growing right there. So yeah, it's just a matter of cleaning it up. This is the first time I've ever had to cut it down this far, but it'll get some good foliage over the rest of the season, spring and summer, and it'll be perfectly fine. Now this stump here could be cut off. I may go ahead and do that. I thought I left it because I thought I saw new growth, but I guess it's not. There. That's it for that, girl. My Shahuli rose, this one you trim in the winter months. This one here, I'm just going to cut off all these dead flowers. Now I have a love-hate with rose bushes, and a lot of it's because they're very easy to get diseased, and they just are thorny. They're beautiful. This one's gorgeous, but you know, they are maintenance for sure. With rose bushes, you just want to make sure that you cut any cross-bearing branches, any dead, diseased branches. And the reason for cutting cross-bearing branches is because with rose bushes you want airflow, and you also don't want them touching each other because they can cross-contaminate themselves if there's something like a disease growing on one of the branches, or if it's dying or, you know, sick, then you don't want it to transfer that over to a good branch. And pretty much they really like air. Now I could be wrong, don't quote me on anything, but that's my experience. I'm not that experienced with roses, but what I've learned over the years of having this Shahuli, and what I've studied, that's what I know. Take it or leave it. Okay, that's it for this gal. I don't know what's, oh, you know what? That's a echinacea. Why is it growing out here? I need to move these and take that out. As far as, this is a yarrow. I forgot what it's called. This is a yarrow, and basically I'm just gonna clean it up. Take out last year's old branches. Very easy peasy. That is something that I've learned about yarrows over the years, because I've always loved them, but you know, it was a trial and error for me to finally realize that they really love full sun. And this gets all afternoon sun. Well, not all afternoon. It gets at least good 4 hours of sun, and it does fantastic. And that's something that I've learned about yarrows, because I did have them in my shaded garden and they did not do well. Okay, enough of that one. Let's get to my St. John's wort. Okay, this is a sad thing here, but you know, it is what it is. This is at least over 20 years old. And it used to be over by my stairs, across from the small pergola. And I moved it here several years ago. And yeah. I'm completely done. It's actually going to start raining again. My camera battery died, so I wasn't able to capture everything that I pruned, but you'll get to see what it looks like now, and then I'll kind of go over that. So I'm going to turn the camera around, walk you through each individual plant that I trimmed so you can see what it looks like now. And then I'm going to give you a full garden walkabout in the springtime. This is April 3rd, so 2024, so you'll be able to see what my garden looks like today, as well as I will have a record of what it looks like, because again, this is my last trimming of anything in this garden for the rest of my life. So let me turn the camera around, let me walk you through it. So the very first plant that I trimmed was my ruby slipper oak leaf hydrangea here. Over here I trimmed my snow sickle oak leaf hydrangea. It's looking beautiful. Removed all the leaves that were from last year and all the dead branches and dead flowers. I did trim my Thomasini fuchsia. This is a hardy fuchsia, and it's all coming back, as you can see. As you saw on my previous video, I trimmed my butterfly shrub. I didn't do that today, but once again, we'll stop and visit it so you can see what it looks like. Back here, trimmed my Butylon. This is a flowering maple. I trimmed that. I trimmed my St. John's wort. Look at how much prettier that looks. And it will fill out. I wanted to show you all the new growth over here. So it's got plenty of new growth coming up, so I'm not worried about it. This is going to look actually beautiful come springtime. Up on that container, I have a ton of strawberries that I did clean up. I'm not going to take you up there, but I just wanted to point that out. I trimmed broomstruck hydrangea here. As you can see, it's coming into bloom, and so happy about that. Cut down and trimmed all the dead branches off of my hot lip salvia so you can see what's remaining. I remove all the dead buds and any dead branches off of my shihuli tree. I cleaned up my yarrow. This is what wasn't captured on film, but I did trim this Russian sage here. I pulled out both of the lavenders that were dead. Right here, I trimmed back my Lithodoria. As you can see, it's coming back. And then this one on this side, I actually ended up pulling out because it was pretty much dead. Right here, I pruned the rock rose. Kind of more or less cleaned it up as much as possible. It looks pretty pathetic, but it looks better than what it was. I trimmed all the dead branches and dead flowers from last year's growth on this pinnacle hydrangea. This pinnacle hydrangea is my newest addition, and this one is called, what is it called? It's Sweet Summer. This one will get 4 to 6 feet tall. So I'm really happy about the size of this. Very manageable. My abutilon in here pretty much is toast, but I did see some new growth, so it's possible that it's not completely dead. I'm going to have to reevaluate that one when I get time. I don't have time today, but that's what it looks like right now. In this container, I pretty much just cleaned up my hop-like oregano. That's it. And I will give you a full garden front and back walkabout. It won't be me talking, but just give you a tour. Okay, you guys, love you. Thank you so much for joining me again, and I appreciate you. Mwah. See you next time.
I don't know what it means, but there's a smile upon your face, and I see something shimmering in your eyes. And they say if you want to glimpse the future, you need space. And you said you'll put down your morning guns. Would you follow me to wonders? Take my hand and walk beside me in a world of thunder. Fear is an imposter. When you look at me this way, I find it hard to not give in. So the days became weeks, it felt just like the night before. You were slowly fading in my mind. When you left, I was so completely gone, but now I'm sure you were slowly fading in my mind. When you left, I was so completely gone, but now I'm sure you were some of the best of things to find. Would you follow me to wonders? If you're everything that matters to me, makes me wonder why I can't get over you. When you look at me this way, I find it hard to know